Hello, welcome once again to our channel Bioholic with your Friday educator Olivia. Today I am here with the sixth part of photosynthesis, and after the light reaction, today I will discuss about the dark reaction. The dark reaction is totally dependent on the products of light reaction. So if you missed the light reaction video of last Friday, then go and check that first. We all know that photosynthesis is the process of making food for the plants. So how the foods are produced, that we will learn today. So not wasting more time, let's start today's class. And before starting the lesson, I want to remind you that after the class is over, don't forget to check the description box, because there I have provided another self-assessment test link related to today's class. So let's begin. So as we know that photosynthesis has two phases, the light reaction and the dark reaction. Light reaction is totally dependent on light, and dark reaction depends on the products of light reaction, and they are independent of lights. That's why this is also called as light independent reaction. But the name dark reaction is a little misleading, because the dark reaction is called as dark, but that doesn't mean that it occurs during night or during darkness. It also occurs during the exposure to sunlight, but they do not require the sunlight directly. We can call this phase as dark reaction because the dark reaction is independent of light. And how we can know that? Because it is found that after the sunset, when the light reaction stops, the dark reaction also continues for some time until there is sufficient ATP and NADPH, that is the products of light reactions, are available in the stroma. As they are dependent on the products of light reaction and the light reaction occurs in the daytime, so the dark reaction is dependent on the light but indirectly. Okay? Now this is the structure of a chloroplast, where you can see the presence of granum and stroma, and the light reaction occurs in grana, specifically in the membranes of thylakoids, and the dark reaction occurs in the stroma. Now what is dark reaction? So as I told, it is a light independent reaction, and it is initially explained by Blackman. It is thus also known by the name Blackman's reaction. And this process is comparatively slower than the light reaction and is exclusively enzymatic. And sugar, that is the food of plant, is synthesized from carbon dioxide in this reaction. Do you know him? The dark reaction steps was discovered by three scientists named Kelvin, Benson and Bassam, and so this cycle is also called as Kelvin-Benson-Bassam cycle, or also as Kelvin cycle. In the left, you can see the picture of Melvin Kelvin, who used radioactive carbon-14 in an apparatus containing green algae or chlorella and mapped the complete conversion of carbon during the process of photosynthesis. And because of this reason, this cycle is also called as Kelvin cycle. In the light reaction, we observe that the NADPH and ATP both are formed in the outer part of the thylakoid membrane, that is in exposure to stroma. Now the ATP and NADPH will be used in the Kelvin cycle. So the Kelvin cycle is the light independent reactions that use the chemical energy derived from light dependent reactions to form organic molecules. And these chemical energies are the ATP and NADPH. And this Kelvin cycle involves three main steps: the carboxylation, second is the reduction, and third is the regeneration. So during light exposure, at first the light reactions occur where the NADPH and ATP molecules are produced, and these ATP and NADPH is used in the Kelvin cycle to make sugar, and in this Kelvin cycle carbon dioxide is also required. So this is the first step of Kelvin cycle, that is the carboxylation. The steps inside this circle is referred to the first step of Kelvin cycle. The Kelvin cycle begins with a 5-carbon compound that is called as ribulose bisphosphate or RUBP, An enzyme Rubisco or ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase catalyzes the attachment of carbon dioxide molecule to RUBP. This enzyme is a special enzyme which has both carboxylase and oxygenase activity. During its carboxylation activity, it adds the carbon dioxide molecules, and during oxygenase activity, it can add oxygen molecule. In this case, in the Calvin cycle or in the carboxylation reaction of the Calvin cycle, Rubisco is acting as a carboxylase enzyme. Thus, it can add the carbon dioxide from the environment. We know that in the carbon dioxide there is only one carbon molecule, and in the ribulose bisphosphate there is 5 carbon molecule. So as a result, there is 5 plus 1 equal to 6 carbon compound, which is very unstable, and therefore it breaks down into 3 carbon compounds, that is called as glycerate 3-phosphate or 3-phosphoglycerate. So now here are 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. This is the first stable compound of Dark reaction. Okay, here in this picture the black dots are representing carbons. Here in the RUBP you can see 5 carbon, and in the carbon dioxide there are 1 carbon. After the action of Rubisco enzyme there is a 6 carbon compound which is very unstable, and thus it breaks down into 3 carbon compound. Now Calvin cycle is also known as just the C3 cycle, because here in this cycle the first stable compound is found to be a 3 carbon organic compound, namely 3-phosphoglycerate or phosphoglyceric acid or 3-PGA. Those plants that utilize just the Calvin cycle for carbon fixation are known as C3 plants. C3 plants include the cereals barley, oats, rice and wheat. Also the alfalfa, cotton, eucalyptus, sunflower, soybeans, sugar beets, potatoes, tobacco, chlorella and many others. Okay. Now the second step of Calvin cycle or the reduction step. Here 2 steps are involved. In the first step, the enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase catalyzes the phosphorylation of 3-PGA by ATP, which was produced in the light dependent stage. Okay, and 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate and ADP are the products. And as I have shown you in my previous slide that 2,3-phosphoglycerates are produced for every carbon dioxide that enters the cycle. So this step utilizes 2 ATP per carbon dioxide fixed. And in the next step, the enzyme glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase then catalyzes the reduction of 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid by NADPH, which is another product of the light dependent stage. Ultimately, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is produced and the NADPH itself is oxidized and becomes NADP+. So in this step, you can see that both the products of the light reaction ATP and NADPH are helping to produce the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And here the NADPH is acting as a reducing agent. That's why it is called as the reduction step. Okay. So 2 molecules of 3-PGA by the help of 2 ATPs and 2 NADPH is now converted into 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now the last step of the Calvin cycle, that is the regeneration of RUBP. Now we have 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and each glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate has 3 carbons. So now total carbon number is 6. But only 1 carbon leaves the Calvin cycle to contribute to the formation of the carbohydrate molecule or the glucose, and the rest 5 goes to contribute to form the RUBP once again. But we know that in the structure of glucose there are 6 carbon molecules. So it takes 6 turns of the Calvin cycle to make 1 complete carbohydrate molecule, 1 for each carbon dioxide molecule fixed, and the remaining glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules regenerate RUBP, which enables the system to prepare for the next carbon fixation step. And another ATP is also used in the regeneration of RUBP. So this is the overall steps of the Calvin cycle, where the RUBP is fixing the carbon dioxide and then carboxylation steps occurs. And during moving from the carboxylation to reduction step, there 2 ATPs are used. In the reduction step, there are 2 NADPHs. are used, and in the regeneration step there another ATP is used. So totally there are 2 ATP plus 1 ATP equal to 3 ATPs, and 2 NADPHs are used in the process of Calvin cycle, right? So each turn of Calvin cycle uses up 3 ATP and 2 NADPH in the processes of reducing and during regeneration. And this means that to produce a single molecule of glucose, that is after 6 complete cycles, there are 6 cycles into 3 ATP, that is totally 18 ATP, and 6 cycles into 2 NADPH, that is totally 12 NADPH will be used. And of the 18 ATPs, the 12 ATPs will be used in reduction steps of the 6 cycles, and the 6 ATPs will be used in the regeneration steps. So after learning the Calvin cycle, we can interpret that the immediate products of one turn of Calvin cycle are the 2 glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, 3 ADP and 2 NADP+. These ADP and NADP+ are later used again in the light-dependent reaction, and some glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is making the sugar and others are regenerating the RUBP. What happens after the glucose formation? Glucose is then converted into starch, which is stored in the stroma temporarily, and then it shows a stable storage in the phloem. And after that there is transportation and then the supply as per the requirement in different plant organs. Now we learned about the light reaction and dark reaction both. So let's differentiate these two. The nature of the light reaction is the light reaction is totally light dependent and the dark reaction is light independent. Second is the chemical nature. Light reaction is a photochemical phase while the dark reaction is biochemical phase. Enzymatic activity in light reaction is absent, but in the dark reaction there are various enzymes are present. The site of occurrence, the light reaction occurs in the grana of chloroplast and dark reaction occurs in the stroma of chloroplast. The end products of light reaction are the ATP and NADPH. The end product of dark reaction is mainly the glucose, and here the ATP and NADPH are used to produce the glucose. And we know that during light reaction photolysis occurs, but in the dark reaction there is no occurrence of photolysis. And in case of the light reaction, the photopigments and photosystems are required, but in case of dark reaction, there is no roles of the photosystem or photopigments. So that's all about the Calvin cycle or the dark reaction of the photosynthesis. If you have any queries or any doubts, you can ask me through the comment section, or you can also mail us through the mail ID that is provided in the description box. So thanks for watching, and if you are new here, then don't forget to subscribe our channel because the world of biology is here. See you in the next Friday. Till then, stay tuned with Bioholic.